Let me say welcome to everyone who is viewing via GBN TV, Channel 7, Channel 11, Channel 20. Those of you listening, Classic Radio, 105.5, 105.9. Good Friday morning, the 10th day of May. Time is on the move, right? Those of you via social media platforms, good morning also. Whether you via the Facebook page, YouTube channels, good morning. Welcome, GBN's webpage. Once again, welcome to everyone. I'm your host, GT, and it's to the point here. Friday the 10th once again, folks, and it's an open line edition this morning, which means you are welcome to call in, express your views, your concerns. You want to, of course, a concern of yours via the message in the part of the whether it's the Facebook page message or WhatsApp message. Feel free to do so, and you know the usual rules. You want to call in, make sure that your radio or television in the background is turned off when you are in the process of calling into the station. Make sure they're turned off completely so we don't get that feedback. I want to hold on to the hearing for a long time. But also, it's a bit of inconvenience for the other listeners also. So just do that. I beg of you to keep the comments short. We can entertain as much calls as possible. And let's go. So let's hear from you this morning. I know there's lots been happening lately, lots on the buzz, and you probably want to chime in on that. It's the opportunity to do that this morning. Let's entertain our very first caller. Caller, welcome. Good morning.
Good morning, GT, and morning to your listeners and your viewers.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah. A few points I want to raise, and then I want to continue on the conversation that was started this morning around mainly water, Nawasa, and that kind of thing. Certain allegations are made against Nawasa, which I think is very unfair. For one, is that NASA don't have no vision, they don't plan. I don't think so. And based on my knowledge, NASA had the first strategic plan between 2008 and 2013. And I'm told because people had contacted me, the change of government, there was another, I think in 2014, another strategic plan set up. So it's to say, there's no vision. That's not true. As to the current state of management, I can attest to it, but I know there was a concerted effort to improve and to think about the future, about water. It's a very complicated situation. In fact, there was a time in the previous NNP government, I'll say that, when they were considering selling Nawasa to a particular company, but the challenge there's now a number of liability in terms of pension and that kind of thing, and that was one of the sticking points. Nonetheless, I think we should all try and work with Nawasa and hold them accountable, especially when there's a lot of wastage of water. But the current situation has little to do with Nawasa, but has to do with us as a people. We have no understanding of the connection with things, with all things. We cut down trees, we build massive enterprise that have to use so many swimming pools, and don't think that there'll be a water problem. Even when the bushing, we let they bare the soil. So the soil is unable to trap water because the top layer is removed. All of these little things help. And then who say that we all have to build all this monstrosity in terms of home now? People want to, compete with each other, building bigger and bigger houses. Why we can't think about sustainability in terms of comfort, in terms of just having the basics? And then, of course, we have made a serious mistake by having a program called Citizen by Investment. We have defending right now. These people have every right like us. If they come in and they decide they want to build, what will happen? We have tension and conflict. We need to consider that. Now, let me go to an issue that I heard overnight on the radio about the shooting of this airman in Miami or thereabouts. And to highlight that the black man, the color of a black man is a danger to himself. Once you are black, you are a problem to the white supremacists. So that the fact, this is not the first time this thing happening. We had a St. Lucian, somewhere in Texas, that was shot years ago. allegedly by mistaken identity, the people went to the wrong thing and opened fire based on a complaint by one of the residents. Once you are black, you are a danger. You are in danger of being shot down. And the people from the diaspora must understand that. They may come sooner or later. Remember the guy from the Gambia where how many bullets was shared in him? And then we pretending that there is democracy and those people like us. I'll just stop here for now. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much for your contribution as always. 435-2041, 435-2041. That's a number if you want to be part of To The Point this morning, the open line edition here on Classic Radio. And let's hear your views, your concerns. There are issues out there that may be of concern to you. And you may want to, of course, talk about that this morning. Feel free. The lines are open. Good morning to those of you via social media platforms. Once again, the Facebook page. I see loads of you already started chiming in on that. Good morning to you. Those of you over the YouTube channel. I never get to go to the YouTube platform for some reason while I'm working. It's a bit difficult to do that. But there's always a number of you there who are listening there. Good morning to you. Caller, you're welcome. Good morning.
How are you this morning?
Not too bad, sir. Go right ahead, please.
Yeah, I want to wish mother, I can't call them on Saturday and Sunday, so wish all the ladies that are mothers, happy Mother's Day.
All right.
And the talk for the new year was NAWASA and the utility companies. But I would like to they would want to sweep something under the carpet, which I'd like to bring to the forefront. It's all of the oil and gas monies that went in the banks out somewhere in the world, offshore. That money needs to be brought back to the Treasury of Grenada to start with. The new government and the security Mitchell need to research that and investigate where are all these monies, with all these deals that made with Trinidad and all these other crooked players, all these monies that are out there. Bring it back and solve the problem with the water in NAWASA, supplement the poor and vulnerable, supplement NAWASA, the utility companies, with all the infrastructure. We have tons of money, oil money, gas money. Where is it going? Well, it's in the banks and somewhere in the world, in offshore banks. Okay. Now I'm paying no water. I have no utility. I'm paying for sewer. I have no sewer. I'm paying for what do you call it? A meter. I think that should be privatized. Where you should go buy your own meter. You should be paying that. You should have a come together. I have what you call a group of people come together. There's a name for it, and get this money, get our own meter, and get the money back in the coffers of the state. Okay, have a class action suit so we can get all the monies that's going out to the bank in the world back in the coffers of Grenada and subsidize the poor and vulnerable and the utilities. Happy Mother's Day to all, and you take care of yourself and your mother, okay?
Take it easy, bro. Thank you, man, so much. Call over via WhatsApp. Good morning. You're welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, sir. How are you doing?
This is not a sir.
Oh, my apology. My humble apology.
Okay.
I grabbed that low tone first. Good morning to you.
I am not going to stop calling and complaining about the quarry. No one is asking for the quarry to be shut down because it's serving a purpose. What we are asking for is for the quarry to control the magnitude of the dust. Hello?
We listening to you, Mom. Go right ahead.
Yeah, the magnitude of the dust and the blasting. This is a dry season, and the wind in the Mount Hartman area is very high. Very high, and the quarry still continue with the dusting. Last night on the news, the doctor at SU is speaking about the effect of the burning and the Sahara dust. But are we thinking about the suffering of the Mount Hartman residents who is dealing with the three actions: the Sahara dust, the burning of the bushes, and the quarry dust? We seem to be concerned about the residents in Grenada, but not the people living around the Mount Hartman area. The Sahara dust does not only comes once a year, but the quarry dust is 365 days a year. The people who work in the quarry come from many areas in Grenada. The individual who works in the quarry ride the buses that do not wear masks during their working hours. After work, they board the buses. They do not take a bath nor wash their hair. They sit next to the other passengers who are unknowingly inhaling the dust from the workmen clothing, their bodies, especially their hair.
Are you factual? Are you factual in that information, Mom? Are you factual that the folks are not taking a shower?
Definitely. Well, how are they going to take a shower? They just finished working in the quarry. They're going to take a bath before they go home, get on the bus to go home?
But you certainly have no evidence of that. I would not agree with you on that one. Anyway.
I would say that I have facts about that. We are so concerned about the Sahara dust and the burning and the effect it has. No one cares about the quarry resident. We are talking about asthma, COPD, cancer, silicosis, and all the effect of the dust that we ingest in our lungs.
All right.
The people in the quarry, when the workmen finish working on the work site, do they ever have a bath before they leave? Be real, be reasonable. There's no facts about it. There's nothing to say, yes, you have to have facts about that. Because nobody works. You work on the quarry, is there a place in the quarry to have a shower? I will tell you they don't. I live next to the quarry, and I go in the quarry, so I know what's going on in the quarry. So I'm telling you, this is facts. Okay?
All right.
People
all right.
need to look at that carefully.
Have a good morning.
Bye.
Thank you so much once again. 435-2041. 435-2041. All right. If you said you had the facts, well, so be it. 435-2041. That's a number if you want to be part of To The Point this morning. It's an open line edition this morning. So, folks, let's go back to the phone line, entertain another caller. Caller, welcome. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Telesford. Greetings.
Good morning to you, sir.
Recent news items has clarified that the Satan season has started. Are you aware of that? You don't know what I'm talking about, do you?
Clueless, sir.
No, that is the spice mass. So normally during this season, so to speak, I don't make many noises. So as I move towards shutting down until September, I would like to leave certain things pending. So those who have ears, do listen, I urge you. And those who have eyes, please look, watch, observe, I urge you. One, I want to let the administration of Grenada know that there are certain people in this here country have grown to understand based upon literature that is there published and have been hidden from the Grenadian people for 50 years is now in the open air. For those who wish to see, can see. I know I am blind, but oh how I see. I refer here particularly to the constitutional architecture of this here country. Grenada remains a colony of Grenadians of the United Kingdom. There it is, brothers and sisters. And you heard them with all alacrity announce it. Grenada, pardon, Charles Rex III, King of England, King of Grenada, kia, kia, kia. We have to work on that. This country has been abused, and I continue to say it, and I challenge the legal authority of this country, including the Bar Association of Grenada, who over the years, as a legal the people trained in legality and otherwise, who have deceived this country to open their mouths and talk about this thing. Why deceive the people? Remember, it is pending. We do not have to live under a king because there is the United Nations 1960 Declaration on Decolonization. Pay attention to that. I would like to invite the Grenada Monarchist League, whoever they are, these cowards who stay back their peltstone and hide their hands, to come out and talk to identify yourself to the people of this here country, and let's talk about the issue and Grenada's constitutional architecture, because it is deceitful to continue to make the people believe that we are politically independent and sovereign nation state when in fact we're not. The second thing is this: the issue related to people with disabilities in this here country. The successive government authority administrations continue to overlook this issue. It is built upon a United Nations Convention on the Rights of People with Disabilities, yet the people of this country with disabilities have been abused for years by these fictitious organizations. For example, the Grenada National Council for the Disabled. Now we're hearing about Advocacy Grenada Inc. business they're looking for, while the people with disabilities in this country continue to catch the royal ass. That has to end in this here country. Enough hypocrisy. Let us face the truth. And therefore, I'll end by saying this, Mr. Telesford, that I wish you happy riddance for a couple of years. Months. I say this. The time has come in this country that we have to understand that the only way we can get out of the status of the demeaning subjugation and subservience to the British Crown is to ask the people publicly through a referendum. Yes, they're afraid of referendums, you know, and when they do, they frame the questions themselves so that they can get. But no, we have learned now how to defy them when they try to bluff us. We want a referendum which can, and the current administration has the authority, with now a 10-5 majority, 2/3, to generate this resolution asking the people whether or not we wish to live, continue to live, under an imperial order and council of the most excellent majesty, or if we wish to write our own constitution, which I am confident we are capable of doing, so that we could plan and make a decision into the future made by the people of Grenada, where we would begin our constitution by saying, we, the men and women of Grenada, ... and not simply whereas the people of Grenada, a third person speaking on our behalf. This has to end. We have to end this hypocrisy. I call it deceit, hypocrisy, injustice, corruption, untrustworthiness, where untrustworthiness encompasses dishonesty, incompetence, and unreliability. Grenada has been deceived for too long. Thank you very much, Mr. Telesford. Do have a nice day, you and your family, and say hello to River Road from Listen. Until we chat again sometime later on after the Satan season. Have a nice day, will you, sir?
You too, sir. Have a good one. Caller via WhatsApp. Good morning. You're welcome.
Mr. Good morning, brother.
Good morning to you.
Brother, I just listened.
Go right ahead, please, sir. Go right ahead. Guess we lost that caller there. Let's entertain another caller. Caller, good morning. You're welcome. Caller, good morning. Hello, good morning. Guess we... Caller, good morning. Lost that caller there again. Not sure what's going on this morning. 435-2041. 435-2041. Let's go back to the phone line. You're welcome, caller. Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning to you, sir.
Yeah, they're talking about this black man who gets shot in Florida, right? That white man and black man thing. Let me tell you something, man. You went to America?
Go right ahead, please, sir. Go right ahead, please. I'm listening to you.
Look, you know no white man and black man in America, you know. What? The person who hates black people the most in America is the black American, you know. The black people who call themselves American. I don't call them American because they once a child born, they are American. But I don't consider that. American is a native of, an Indian native of that country. You only want to sit in Bull and Circle and Hawk and them, they are Americans. I just fed up with people saying, oh, my child is American. You go in America for 10 months, you make a child. Oh, my child is American. This thing is not true. We must teach our people about history. Anyhow, I wish them all the best.
Thank you, sir. Best wishes goes out to you also. 435-2041. 435-2041. That's a number. If you want to be part of To The Point this morning, the open line edition. If you want to make a contribution via sending a message, whether you want to do it via the WhatsApp or via the comment section of the Facebook page, feel free to do that. I will certainly relay those comments. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, you're welcome. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you.
It's a long time hurting me to see that we in Grenada always say things, or some of us say things that we do not know. We do not have any experience as to tell people what is right. We say things and we have no concrete evidence to support what we are saying. For example, we are saying that we people love one another, and we do not love one another. We in the country are exploiting one another. Love doesn't mean that you have to take everything for yourself. Now, in certain, in the country, most of, I said most, I didn't say all. Most of the parliamentarians saying that they love, they passed the present. As for example, as you say, and you would say, Uncle Gary, he has loved the people. He placed his life to the world to fight for the people. He fought for the poor people. Now these same poor people, they reach a certain standard and they are suppressing the same poor people and balling that they love. When you love, you must do things to encourage people to grow, not to go lower down for you to use them. In fact, we say we are being educated, and to some extent, even some people who are call themselves expertise in doing job for another, they're sending things which should be in a metric system. They're mixing it up, metric systems and imperial system, and they're calling themselves builders or constructors. Don't ask me how I know that. And I've always talked about that because we say we are educated and we shouldn't be mixing up those things. If we're talking Spanish, is Spanish. We couldn't be talking about Spanish and English at the same time because we have to transfer our brain from one situation to the other. So we have to reorganize ourselves. And this is what is up. Everybody balling, I know. But put them to do the same, to the thing that they know. We have mechanics. They're trying to do jobs which they cannot do. And if you ask them a question, they vex with you. Some people are building houses and they do not know the ratio of sand to gravel, or what do you mean by a ratio? Even this is what is hurting me. We have too much intelligent people, and I have said it already. Education means fit to live and fit to live with. In other words, you must know how to appreciate a man. Even if he says something wrong, you have to know how to correct him. You can correct him viciously. Now I look at that man, Mr. Rolo, as a very intelligent. Maybe my level is low, that's why I consider him there. And he has a right to vex with all of us who do not sometimes support him. Because when you know the truth and people are not doing the right thing, then you get vexed. But as for me, I control my emotion, even if I laugh at some of them. Thank you very much.
Thank you also, caller. Have yourself a great day and a great weekend to come. Folks, we drew for a break. Let's take it. We come back. We entertain more of your calls, your contributions, whether it's via message, via the Facebook or the WhatsApp when we return. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Sunshine Promotions is rolling out the red carpet for all mothers. It's a night of love. Saturday, May 11th at the dazzling Radisson Crown Ballroom. The celebration kicks off at 8 p.m. with the show starting at 9 p.m. Promising a night filled with joy, music, and appreciation. Prepare to be swept off your feet with performances from the legendary Mikey Spice. Mikey Spice. The dynamic Lion Paw, the sensational Valine, and the soulful Laura Lisa. It's a lineup that promises an unforgettable night. Get your limited early bird tickets for just $100 EC and ensure you're part of this grand salute to mothers. Tickets available at Giddens Pharmacy in St. George's, Wall Street, Wharf and Grenville, Chucky's Bar, Cass Unisex Boutique, Quick Stop, Pierce Barbershop in Victoria, Calico Shopping Center in Sates, Rena Mills in Carriacou, Crown Collection, Health Plus Pharmacy Grenville, Heather's Boutique, and GoToFed.com. Stay connected with Sunshine Promotions on Facebook and Instagram for all details. It's a night of love, Saturday, May 11th at the Radisson Crown Ballroom.
Welcome back once again to all our listeners and viewers to the point for today, Friday, the 10th day of May 2024, the open line edition for today, our final edition of To the Point for this week. And it's an open line, which means you listeners and viewers, you have the option of calling in, sharing your views, your concerns. There's an issue that you would like to speak of, feel free to do so in today's edition of To the Point. Let's go to the WhatsApp and let's take a couple of the messages that's coming via WhatsApp. This individual is saying, Grenada has a constitution. That is why the legal luminaries are not paying attention. But do we need to change it and stop pledging allegiance to the British royal monarch? We are not colonies of British. And repeating it over and over does not make it right. All right, so that's one contribution there via the WhatsApp. Let's go back to the WhatsApp. Let's see what else do we have there before we do entertain another caller, 435-2041. This week was a very important week in the house, in the camp of the NMP. First, Anthony Boson, who gave us a insight on how dysfunctional the NMP now being because Keith Mitchell, who's playing hide and seek. We now saw Rafid being manners for speaking of convention. Peter David is not being truthful of his relationship with Dr. Mitchell. I think Scholar Song Mash It Up tells a true story about what's happening presently in the NMP. Let's go back to the phone line. Lost that caller, 435-2041. 435-2041. And let's entertain this caller. Caller, welcome. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
Yes, my brother. How are you today?
Doing pretty well. Well.
Right, praise God. I want to find out, I'd like for probably the Minister of Finance, the Prime Minister, or somebody in the administration to tell us, we the Grenadian people, what is the state of the national debt? I remember in the former administration, they used to give us something like an approximate 1 point something billion, etc. And when this administration was in opposition, they criticized it, and it was justifiably so. But from since they would have taken office to this day, I have not heard them speak about it in any profound way, because it affects us regardless to which side one stands on politically. And I think this is important. I would like for a more open discussion on issues like these, because it is going to affect us one way or the other. All right, that. Finally, too much bashing for Nawasa. Nawasa is a state-owned entity, a statutory body, governed by laws, controlled by the government, meaning the politicians who are in office. Okay? And over the years, the proper investment was not done. Grenada's problem is more a money problem with investment in water than a water problem. For example, the current cost we are paying for water, okay, it's about 11 cents or 12 cents per gallon. Now, Nawasa has miles of pipe laid into the ground, various sizes from half-inch up to 12-inch diameter. Okay, some of these pipes are expensive. You have 12-inch diameter ductile iron pipe, you have HDP, you have galvanized, and not just the pipe, the fittings. For example, my brother, you have a valve known as an altitude valve that is installed on a tank. The last price for that was over 20-something thousand Canadian dollars for a 12-inch, for an 8-inch one. The general public does not know that. What I do believe needs to be done, a policy, the politicians have to forget vote and remove the public standpipes. I am not suggesting that water become exorbitantly high. No, but we must pay more for water. And investment, for example, the Seven Falls area, even Concord, go further up into the gorge and develop that system, and we can have adequate amount of water. This calls for a national conversation and not the bacchanal and the blaming, which at times as a Grenadian, and it embarrasses me when foreigners will talk about that. When a problem arises, why can't we reason 50 plus years after independence and we are quarreling over trivial things instead of coming forward with a scientific method that can work and stop the condemnation and the criticism? Because to say the last administration did not do anything for water is an outrageous lie. I have spent 40 years and months in Awassa, and I can confess that before any crowd that they would have. They made mistakes and they did some nonsense too, right? But they would have made a positive contribution. So I think, we need to do that because the dry season and the climatic change, etc., etc. We in Grenada do not have control over that. Grenada must be contributing 0 point something percent to the greenhouse effect. We are not an industrialized nation. We are poor and underdeveloped with third world status. But I wish a day will come and we as a people will sit and have serious conversations. Forget the political divide. The greenerization and the yellowisation of Grenada, that is contributing to backwardness in the highest order. Thanks so much for listening.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much for your contribution. Caller via WhatsApp, good morning and welcome. Let's hear your contribution this morning, please.
Good morning, Mr. GT, and how are you?
I'm doing good. A-okay, sir.
God bless you. Mr. GT, I want to look at some little things of key importance. I want to touch on gender affairs and the scope of it and women and what I think could be done in the country to the advancement of women in a lot of areas, and also on the Ministry of Education. I strongly believe that a lot need to be encouraged, invest in women doing different things in job today. For instance, you have the minibuses. I've seen it in other countries. Most minibuses have been driven by men. That's in Grenada. And few minibuses have been driven by women. I think that is a niche of employment for women. That's one area. In the education department, I believe when you're giving scholarship, government need to look at a balance now and encourage women to go in more, what you may say, the engineering field and different things of that, the technical field, because there are some women, they are competent. They do things in school, physics, technical drawing, and all those things. But you find women focus mainly, I'm not saying all, are basically in what you call in the office type of job. I think there is a lot women can get involved in, and the Ministry of Gender Affairs can help steer women in various avenues of job. If you look at the prison now, at least 300 and something men in the division, in the prison, young men, and maybe about 3 women. When you have all these men in prison, it means that you have to get people to fill position outside there. But ladies not taking the opportunity to diversify themselves to find employment in different avenues. Also, I always hear the term square peg in wrong hole being used. GT, I strongly believe there are some entity that must be managed based on what they involve in by engineers and technical people at the end. If you have an accountant, let's say managing a nuclear plant, a plant that is of some civil engineering nature as such, accountant watch dollars, how it is being managed and controlled. Engineers do research on what is best to ensure that the industry grows. So the engineer might look at the efficiency of something, and accountant only looking at, can I spend the $2? Can I think? You have a lot of entities in Grenada that have been managed by accountant, and it should be by engineers, civil engineers. I remember when you have the British controlling the power plant and Nawasa and different things, at the helm, the men that was there, they were engineers. But today, we see accountant going in certain field. I'm not saying accountant cannot be, but my first pick, if you fit in yourself in certain production field, that is more of an engineering nature, the manager should be encouraged that it must be a technical person, not an accountant. Accountant watching how dollars spending. Engineers invest in the most efficient thing. For instance, I don't know in GBN how much ladies you have, but I sure, maybe you correct me, those technical aspects in GBN, I sure mainly men who are doing it. Am I correct?
To a point, yes.
Right. So why can we encourage young ladies? Young ladies are women, let me say it so. When set out to do things, I work with women around technical things. They tend to be more precise in how they do things. I'm not saying man not precise, but they tend to have patience. And I am saying, when you're talking gender affairs, encourage our young ladies to branch out in technical field, in engineering field, and I think we could get great results. Because if all young men want to sit down in the prison, let's invest in those young ladies. Thank you very much.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. And very, very interesting contribution this morning. Let's go to the phone line. Caller, welcome. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. How you doing?
Not too bad at all. How are you doing this morning?
I do believe that there is people that work in the ministries that design policies to attack people. Maybe that people that they know in school or who they grew up with, and they are successful and they are jealous, so they come up with policies and go to the government and put a policy into place to attack certain people. Because I cannot understand. You run in a small shop, you're selling flour and sugar, right? Now what I would come and tell you are doing commercial, right? You say your house upstairs, your shop downstairs, you're doing commercial, so you have to pay for commercial water. And now what I would charge you the same rate that it would charge maybe a factory for water. Or they tell you have to get an extra meter, it costs about $400, and get a different plumbing to your establishment that will cost you a whole heap of money that you can afford as a shopkeeper to put things in place. I mean, you're paying somebody thousands of dollars to come up with good ideas, and that's what they come up with. Settle for that. Secondly, farmers. I mean, just really and truly, how do you expect a farmer to survive, even though he's doing business, but charge him commercial water? Yeah? Same as a bank, same as a factory. You're charging a farmer that need to wet his plants to stay in business. You charge him commercial water. How do the farmers survive? How do you sell his crop at a reasonable rate to get back his money? So there's a lot of things that people that create policies in this country here, sometimes they don't even think, they don't even care what they put into together. And our makers put it in the law and set it out. And by that now, we find businesses closing down. Farmers have to leave the farm and just forget that because you can't stay in business. And everybody cool with that. So I'm saying, if I'm paying you, JT, to come up with policies to make the company more productive and the people more happy, come up with good policies. Just come up with anything that comes in your mind and bring it on the table. And that's it. Our major companies here like Glen and Nawasa and the people on them have the wrongs of the people on the boards. You're not thinking. And they're getting good salaries to come up with stupid ideas. And the companies are just going downhill. Look at Nawasa. Everybody's talking about Nawasa and Glen. Because who coming up with the policies to bring towards the government, and the government now going to send that into law, and people can survive. Something has to be wrong somewhere. How do a farmer survive? When a farmer has to pay thousands of dollars for water, he can take commercial water. He must stop farm. And by stopping farm now, farming produce go up, people can buy it, then the importers go import, everybody lose. Everybody losing that thing. Have a nice day, bro.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much for your contribution this morning. 435-2041. Of course, we could entertain another call or two before we go for that break. Let's go back to the phone line. You're welcome, caller. Good morning.
Yes, good morning to you, GT.
How are you this morning, sir?
Not too bad. How are you today?
All right, I'm all right.
You have a good day. I'll tell you something. We can complain with the politicians as much as we want. But you know where the problem is? Part of the problem with us, because we complaining that, we need to put people to jobs, but if you start a business, many people doesn't want to support you. Yeah? If you don't support your brother to develop, he can't develop. But you complain that we're not putting people to work. Yeah? The problem I'm having, sir, is that as we talk development and putting people to work, is the economy. Yeah? We do not have sufficient vacancies for the citizens. Cost is rising. But we don't want to talk about that. We talk about all other areas, but we don't talk about strategies to grow the economy, to put people to work. The same companies year after year after year, with the same employees, they're not expanding. The authorities are not creating new space on the ground, infrastructure space, so that new companies can start, old companies can expand to create jobs. Our commercial numbers is small. Therefore, our revenue is going to be small, and that's the reason why cost is rising so rapidly, because we're not importing on the maximum level. We're putting always on the minimum. Once you're on the minimum, costs are going to rise. And if we continue with that way of doing commerce or transacting business, the country is going to shut down. What I would like to see the government do, one, is to focus on infrastructure development and to try to woo the private sector into expansion, into creating new areas. We have a lot of empty spaces. Get your equipment and put your engineers to work. We have engineers to do any class of work in Grenada, so we don't have to import. All we have to do is some of the money that we're wasting, is to put it into 1 mile, 2 miles, and 3 miles, using our own labor and our own equipment. We have to expand commerce. We have to put people to work. If we don't do that, eventually, talking all this nice talk we're talking, it's just riling up the citizens, and we're getting angry with each other. That cannot work. Yeah? We have to be practical, and we have to be actual. We have to do the things that we're talking. Yeah? Too much hate in the society. Have a great day, sir.
Thank you also, caller. Thank you so much for your contribution. Folks, we drew for a break. Let's take it. And when we come back, we do entertain more of your calls. Stay with us. It's to the point.
In honor of the Grenada 50th Independence, the Royal Grenada Police Force Band presents the second annual Mother's Night Out. Mother's Night Out. The concerts all going down on Sunday, May 12th from 5 p.m. at the Grenada Trade Center. Featuring live from TNT. It's crazy.
Time to come, America will have a black president.
John King.
How many more?
June Lodge. Together with the Hitman Inspector, Valine Ned, Samantha Dixon, Alex Phillip, Shane, Innocent, General PP, Kareem, Alexis, Ron Barry, the African Man, and much more. Dress code elegant. It's Mother's Night Out, the Grenada Trade Center from 5 p.m. on Sunday, May 12th. Lots of giveaways and prizes to be won. Champagne and roses on entry. You don't want to miss this amazing experience for mothers. Your tickets only $70 and are available from Kittens Pharmacy in Grand Dance and Grenville, Grenadian Optical, the Police Band House, Police Canteen. Make this a date for mothers.
A call to protect our children. Innocent lives brought into this world. Fruits of the womb, boys and girls. Young lives born into families, longing to be loved and protected by society. Meanwhile, there are persons who are focused on abusing children. ravaging the innocents, pretending to be their friend, appearing to be genuine and a source of protection. They are the same ones who are armed with deception. These wolves in sheep clothing must be exposed. A lot are walking around and nobody knows. It's about time that these abusers feel uncomfortable in society, for the things they do to children is a disgrace to humanity. Our children's cry of no, help, seems to fall on deaf ears. Abusers still ravage them despite the painful tears. There are children who have been abused for many years by people they know. It's like no one cares. Can we not hear the screams of our children as predators continue to use and abuse them? So many died, gone too soon, should have been here to glow and bloom. Together, let's stamp abuse out of this land. As a united force, yes, we can. Wipe away the tears from our children's eyes as we create a society that is free to thrive. I call on all of society. Let us take a stand, for the power of change is in our hands. Make abuse of children a thing of the past, a society where children are free at last.
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers, to The Point here on Classic Radio 105.5, 105.9, and GBN TV. Good morning once again. Let's take this caller via WhatsApp. Caller, good morning. You're welcome.
Listen, good morning, sir. How are you this morning?
I'm doing A-OK this morning. Let's hear your contribution, please.
Yes, well, we have so much things going on in our country. But we need to know that God is still in control over this country of Grenada, Carriacou, and Pittimatic, and the world at large, because God is the one that created the heavens and the earth. And he's calling out people that will stand for holiness, righteousness, separated unto God, not mixing. God said, come out from among them and touch not the unclean things, and he will receive us. We are living in troubled times because the coming of the Lord is right upon us today. Grenada, we need to turn to the Lord this morning and repent. We have been seeing so much things happening right before our eyes in our country today and in the whole world. We need to call a day of prayer and fast and repentance. I've been saying it the other day, calling upon the nation. Let us turn to the God in repentance like Nineveh of old. Too much things is happening upon the land. Evil is on the increase. Here, there, and everywhere. The Bible says righteousness that exalts a nation. Sin is a reproach, and the enemy is just stripping us naked. And who want to stand? The Bible says, when the Lord come, he asks, shall he find faith upon the earth? Who want to stand if we do not take a stand now? Our generation is just going down a precipice, down into hell. Now is the time for us to wake up and stand up for truth. Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life. Let us accept him. So much death is in the place today. You wondering what is going on. Only God to have mercy upon us and turn our situation and heal our nation, heal we homes, heal we hearts, heal we families, because God is a God of a second chance. He's a forgiving God. May God help us this morning.
Thank you,
we
caller.
are sick and tired of our situation. God have mercy this morning. Thank you. God bless. Have a good day.
Thank you, caller. Caller, good morning. You're welcome.
Yeah, good morning, GT again. The thing about how we look at problems. We look at problems sometimes from a archaic, backward way, and we attribute events to the result of our own doing. We attribute to some deity out there, maybe evil one, and the rescue of another godly one. I think we need to remain down here. That's the problem. We need to live here and see what are we doing to this ecosystem. I have one of your callers, and that one of the things that motivated me to call back. He talked about there's a lot of empty space, and that is the problem. Of course, he's preaching Adam Smith all the time, economy. But it's the economy that have the problem. The whole as it is the capitalist system that have the problem, because anyway, the prospect of profit, they're going to demolish there. Look, I mean, when I say to people internationally that part of our cemetery is privatized, they can't believe it. And I grew up where a certain business was part of the cemetery. Now that's owned by a certain entity. Not that I'm not against that entity, but it's because everything, and of course the fashion now is a built tomb, so everything, that's a money-making thing. So even in debt, capitalism have arrived there. And that's the problem. Coming back to, he said space, there's a lot of empty space. You know what is, that's the problem. They don't see community. They don't see a community of beings, living beings. So you clear space, burn it, and because all you're seeing is space, put concrete, infrastructure. This is a problem. What we have to do is to ask ourselves what kind of future we need, what kind of society we need, and what is required to ensure that the sustainability, that we could leave something behind for the children, not out of charity, but out of obligation. We are obligated. The people before us, as backward as they might have been, and we may think, left a hospitable environment that we could thrive on. But instead of we building on it, we're destroying it because somebody tell us the way to go is the capitalist way. Make money, selfishness, blah, 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 blah. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Thank you also for your contribution this morning. Let me grab some of the comments via the Facebook page, if it could, before we entertain another caller. And someone is saying, good morning. In a practical sense, did the Queen or does the King make the today decisions in Grenada for Grenadians or for Grenada? If not, what is a name? That's a contribution there from someone via the Facebook. Caller, you're welcome. Good morning.
Yes, we have a lot of people that are saying that they can do this and they can do that. For example, in Grenada, we have people that have been employed by the government, past and present, that are not capable of doing certain work. Just imagine people build slab for the sidewalk in the town of St. George's. And imagine those slabs have been broken down already. If they were built the right way, you build them for 1,000-ton truck. And yet, you build them perhaps without steel or without the right ratio. And these things, in fact, have been broken already. So you have to give contract to people who are efficient and those who have the collateral, so should in case that something is wrong, they have to build it over. Look in the St. George's. You will see some of these slabs are broken and trucks parked on the side of them, these 100-ton trucks, which we should never be importing because the roads are too narrow. In fact, just imagine some of the police constable saying that, I know for next one, if you see a big truck coming, place yourself on the side of the road. Where you go? In that big drain? that those people are put in houses, their steps are in the road. Government should never allow that. Yes, we need houses, we need new houses, we need more houses, but not to put them right on the threshold of the road. This is what we have to safeguard. We have too much people liking each other because they give them a £10 or a $20 and they take it to sort of, I say, uplift themselves. We have to look for the general welfare of the country. Not even for our children, for the general welfare of the country. And children in school must realize that if they cannot take what they learn in school to reality, they have not learned. That's what education means. You should be able. Thank you.
Thanks, we lost that caller. Let's take our final caller for the morning. Caller, good morning, you're welcome. Caller via WhatsApp, go right ahead, please.
GT, good morning, my friend.
Good morning to you, sir.
Happy Friday.
Same to you. How are you this morning?
All right, not too bad. Wishing you a blessed weekend. Anyway, GT, okay, are you aware that GBN have 2 Facebook pages?
They has 2.
Maybe you should speak to Godfrey about it, because when Godfrey doing the program We Culture,
yes,
he goes back to the second Facebook page, because he does have a lot of comments.
Okay.
And I know maybe you don't have time to get to it, whatever. Anyway, okay, I want to congratulate the government on the way forward towards the transportation in Grenada. Talking about like for the late night walkers, but the only problem I have with it that I think that they should also give thoughts of bringing back the PTS / NTS, what we usually have what we used to have, during the revolution. And then he did a great service to Grenada, because I remember the bus from St. George's was connecting in night with the bus from Sotes, so the workers and them didn't have to be stranded, so I want to congratulate them for that.
All right.
I just trade all the ideas there for them too. And also, this week was a very interesting week in the NNP camp. We had my friend Peter David, which I've been clandering for a long time, and I was so happy to see him. But even though that he dodged some of my questions that I did ask him, I also think he did well in some of the answers, and also I want to say again, we had Anthony Boswin, I think was Monday night, and he gave us a deep insight of the NNP party and what is going on. And what is going on in the NNP party, and also I think we should really take notes and listen to somebody like him, because I think he used to be the general secretary of the party. I'm not too sure. I'm subject to correction, and also him as Minister of Education, and also he was a finance minister. So I think we have to take note and listen to when people like he's speaking, and maybe what NNP have to do to get a party together and please call a convention, and let everybody move. And you could elect a leader, and by the way, you do the inside work of the party at the same time.
Thank you, caller.
Once again, you have a beautiful weekend.
You too, man. Have a good one. All right, best wishes goes out to you. Hey, folks, that's where we take a wrap for this edition of To The Point for today, our final edition for the week. Join us again next week. Once the Almighty permits, we will have another edition for you of To The Point. That's why I say goodbye. Have a good one, folks. Blessed weekend.